No.
I know
Okay.
MASH, the
So
TV
it's like
show.
there is the show. Like,
That's
okay,
all
so you
about.
would maybe you call it something different, but you take a little you do this when you're like 12, 13, maybe younger. You take a piece of paper and you draw a square, and then each side of the thing is a designated category of like marriage, job, home, car. And then you'd go through it and you'd basically like I can't remember exactly how to play it, but long story short, for the
It's
folks at
ringing a
home,
bell. It is ringing a bell.
you'd like someone would be writing out and then you'd have to say stop, and that's the amount of kids you're going to have, or
Yeah, yeah,
like,
that's who you're gonna marry, and it's the boys
and
in
you
your.
count
I
around,
did
you'd
this in
like list
primary
off
school.
the types of cars, list off what kind of houses you'd have, list off whatever, and you'd go around and count, and then whatever it landed on, that was going to be your future.
Yeah.
So anyways, my cousin Emma sent me a TikTok this morning, um, of this magazine from Old Navy, which is a clothes store here. And in it was MASH, like doing MASH or whatever. And it's like, if you have any questions, just ask a geriatric millennial.
Oh.
I was like, why'd you have to come for us like that? Geriatric.
Well, this is it. Apparently, I think once you hit 35, you're a geriatric pregnancy. Are you
Yeah,
not?
I heard that
Yeah.
too.
And I'm
That's
like,
fucked.
whoa, whoa. Okay, calm down. And I really think they need to. I do understand it from a I mean, I don't understand it from a medical sense because I have no fucking medical knowledge except for like 12 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. But I really think they ought to change that word because I think the word
Yeah.
geriatric is got a lot of fear laced in it, and it's got a lot of negative connotations laced in it. And what we want to do is not be encouraging girls, sorry, to be having kids really, really young.
Yeah.
We really want to be pushing them up a bit so that they've got their shit together a little bit more before they start making children who are going to run the world. Just a
Who in the
suggestion.
world goes?
You're just going to sing along with everything, like you're just in one of those moods. Like I'm just going to trigger a song every time you're like my own personal jukebox.
I get that from my mom. Like,
Yeah, she does it too, but with
hmm
like songs from the '60s or something.
She knows more than that.
Yeah, I'm sure she does.
Don't speak poorly about Tracy like that.
Hi Tracy, if you're listening, I know you listen. Hi.
She's our number one fan. She listened to the very first pod, and I was
I
like,
know.
wow, you were brave. And I even
Yeah,
warned her.
she went right in there,
She
right
was
in the
like,
deep
I'm in.
end.
I'm in. I'm in.
In your last voice note, you asked me about my period, and
Yeah.
there is something about that brown. Sorry, I like had a stroke and just stopped.
Something about Brown.
No, brown. Yeah. So, because that's old blood, I think, or blood that is something, and it means something. Because I get it sometimes as well. It's a health thing. I should Google this, right?
Blood that's something because it means something, and it is something. Sure is something.
This is why. This is why we need help.
We need help.
I don't know if that's what producers do, but do you think that producers would just be sitting in? I always think that there's always somebody in the studio, like when they're recording on the radio or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's just somebody in the corner feeding shit. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. So
like
this is what
right.
you're going to talk about now.
This
Yeah.
this is what you're going to see.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you said something to me about you just starting your period today, which you had called, which is amazing. I love that. You're like, "Yep, the 20th." Bam, like that. You got it.
Because my cycle is now so in sync, 28 days, and I counted on the calendar, and I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, boom,
Oh,
20th. I guarantee it.
we love a regular queen.
Yeah.
We love it. Yeah, you mentioned that it was just like bloop, like
Yeah,
right
woke me
there.
up. I felt that bubble of blood coming out, and I
Yeah,
was
so
like,
I was like,
"Ah,
"Ooh, what?"
possessed.
That first day you already get like a bubble. It's just immediately bubbling in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because for me, it's more of like a spot type situation.
Well,
And
this is
usually
what I'm
by
saying.
the end of that day, it's like, hey.
So, brown discharge or spotting before your period can have a number of causes. So, it can be old blood that's leaving the uterus. This is usually normal and not a cause for concern. So, I've definitely had that before.
Yeah.
and I kind of know it's coming. I've also just had general spotting before, and I know it's coming.
Yeah.
But I mean, once she starts, you
Yeah.
know. Pap smear, sex. I don't care about any of this. PCOS. You think you have PCOS, don't you?
Do I?
I don't know. Do you?
Maybe. I don't know if I do. I've never considered it.
Oh, okay. Let's move on.
You got that, right? You said you thought you had that? No. That's all right. A lot of people do, and that's totally
Anyway,
fine.
so
I think I have many things wrong with me. PCOS isn't one of them.
what period disorder do you think you have?
Oh, PMDD.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I had that one too, but I've cured it with the power of my mind.
I think
It's
that's
like,
kind of eased up a bit, but I do like 10 days out, I know that my period is coming. It's like clockwork because all of a sudden my whole aura,
yeah,
mentality,
your whole aura
and
changes.
being is just like it gets
Whereas
nullified.
I am 14 days without a doubt. I want to eat everything. I may or may not have sore boobs and possibly kill people.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Murder.
Murder, she wrote.
Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote.
And yes, I occasionally get it, but this morning, man, it was a bubble. It was really a bubble.
It said, hey,
It said, hey girl,
I'm
I'm here.
here.
So I had to get up. And I was annoyed. I mean, I also needed to pee. I probably would have woken up anyway, but I'm
Sometimes that's nice though,
tired.
because then like once you're right into it, that means you're just in there and you're gonna be done in however many
Yeah.
days your period lasts. As
5
opposed to that,
days.
like, yeah.
How
As
long are
a,
you?
I'm in and around the same, but sometimes it like extends a bit because of that first day of like random little spot brown stuff. So it's like 6, maybe.
A little bit of tidying up at the end there.
Yeah. Period ever do that thing where it psychs you out and is like, yeah, I'm done. Ha 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 ha.
Rarely, because I always know. Like, I know better than the period. Like, I know it's not been long enough.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't mean like mid like usual amount of time, like nearing the end when it would be like your 5th day, let's say, or your 6th day. And it's like,
Oh, at
okay,
that
yeah, we're
point, I'm
done.
just like, fuck you, I'm finished.
And then it comes back around. Yeah.
I'm, you girl, we're free bleeding now.
I tell
Okay
my
with it.
mom that when I get to that point, because it's like it's too late to put anything in me. And
Kinky.
ooh. Then in that stage, because then I'm just wearing whatever underwear I'm wearing. I'm just wearing whatever I'm wearing, and I tell my mom I'm living on the edge of glory, as Lady Gaga would say.
So you're still tamponing, right?
Yeah,
Because what the fuck, man?
I put a nuke in my pussy.
I mean, I take away the fact that they found, lead and arsenic in all of the fucking tampons a few
Yeah,
months ago. And I haven't read that report myself, so, it could be wrong.
I haven't
Um,
either. It's hearsay. No, I'm kidding.
I started using a menstrual cup many moons ago.
Yes, you
Life
said
changing. Because one
yeah.
means about because I'm a cheapskate and an eco-conscious warrior. Eco-conscious warrior, eco-warrior. Conscious eco-warrior.
Eco-conscious girly pop warrior.
There we go. That one. And I don't like the waste that tampons,
Yeah,
are. I've
yeah.
never really been a pad girl ever.
No,
They annoy me.
not my
It's just
jam.
too much. I barely like wearing clothes, so adding a extra layer of like cotton padding to me is just not going to happen.
Overstimulating.
Um, yeah, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it when things touch me. I mean, I like it when people touch me. I don't like it when things touch me. Just like physical touch is actually my love language. I really like being touched, but please don't put a hot cotton pad on me. It's not hot. I make it hot. I make
Yeah.
everything hot. I'm not making any sense anymore, so I'm going to go back to my original point. I changed to a menstrual cup several years ago. And honestly, other than the fact that sometimes you might be at work when you need to empty it, or, in a public place, it happens like sometimes at the beginning of the period, like you will fill that motherfucker up.
Mhm.
Usually you can go 12 hours,
Well,
but sometimes right at the beginning. You can be a bit of a heavy flow day. And I recently changed to the disc, which you are well aware of because you
Mm-hmm.
got regular updates about
Mm-hmm.
that. And I really like them. I have yet to have sex with one in, but that is
Mm-hmm.
essentially the reason why I got it. Because apparently you can have sex whilst wearing the disc, and neither you nor your partner will feel it, and there will
Yeah,
be
I've heard
no
this.
jiggery pokery. But I asked you to measure your vagina for me because you're looking at me like you don't remember this. Please
No,
don't leave
I
me hanging right
do.
now.
I do remember, and I was the face was, did I do it?
Yeah,
Did I?
you did. You did.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously I can reach the disc very
Mm-hmm.
easily, which made me then think, well, how the fuck is a penis not going to feel that?
Yeah.
And then momentarily my brain went, oh my god, have I got a small vaginal canal? To be medical. And is there something wrong with me? And will this not work? Even though I'm 34 years old, I've both been having periods and having sex for a while. I know there doesn't seem to be any massive problems in this area, so there's nothing to prove to me, to have even suggested to me that I have all vaginal canal.
A short
And yet,
shaft.
a short shaft. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And yeah, I completely freaked out and was like, "Oh my god, can you please stick your fingers inside of yourself and tell me
How
how
deep does she
far
go?
you go before you hit that bony bit?"
Uh,
And you did it for me because you're such a good best friend.
I'd do anything for you.
But I highly recommend it again, even though I haven't had the sex with it yet, which is this whole point.
I think I'd be more I don't know, tempted is the right word, but more inclined to use a cup or disc as opposed to a cup because there's just something about the cup that I'm terrified of not how it
There's
feels, but taking it out and the whole like
there there is more. Yeah,
just
that's not how you do it, by the way. That's the quite literally the wrong way to do it. There is more, I think, technique involved in the cup because you do have to fold it and put it in and stuff, so it was pops
just
back out.
pull it out like a plunger.
No, 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 no. You need to break the seal first.
Blood scene.
Yeah, so kind of the same way you put it in, you need to bring it out, kind of folded.
I feel like that would still be risky.
I mean, you're over a toilet, so all you got to do, is get the positioning,
Just giving us a full
get, you
full
know,
display.
and then just, in the toilet, like,
We're
it's
getting
not gonna.
flagged.
I'm wearing all black. You can't really see what's going on here. But yeah, the disc, you literally just fold that bad boy in half and put it up like a tampon. Insertion and outsertion. What's the opposite of insertion? Come on, Google girl.
Oh, let's actually Google it.
Insertion and it can't be the same word. Outsertion, removal.
Insertion.
It's very easy in a disc with a disc,
Opposite.
and I highly recommend them. And I think that people should be getting them for free at school. And extraction. Oh, that sounds very, very clinical. Imagine, why doesn't a billionaire just buy all of the girls in the world a disc? And why aren't they in prisons? Like, why has nobody done this?
It's how the rich stay rich. They're cheap and they're frugal.
They do suck.
A lot of them do. A lot of them do. But yeah, no, I saw a disc seller distributor. I guess someone who had like made their own, they have their own business. And there's like a
Wow, you're doing well here. You're doing well. Keep going.
like with a tampon, like oh fuck, what is the word?
Oh no!
The thing that is outside of the cotton that you put into yourself and then you push it in.
Applicator.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm like 3 words, 2 syllables.
Like charades. Do you say charades or charades?
Charades.
Good.
Charade.
Let's play charades.
Let's play charades. That had an applicator for the disc. So you'd fold it up, put it in the applicator, and then pop it in there.
I mean, I suppose if you want to be
I'm just used to
I
those
really like
kinds of
to.
things.
I like to put my entire fingers inside myself. What can I
Like, just
say?
fisting.
I mean, I do have little fingers, so.
Little baby fingers. I feel like I have the
I
zoomies right now.
Yeah, a little bit, a little
Yeah.
bit. It's that time of day. Uh,
Oh, girly pop.
oh my god, have you listened to Short and Sweet yet?
I haven't.
Why not? Oh my god,
You know
it's so
what?
good.
I'm gonna do it right now.
And
I
do you
don't know
know
if I'll
what?
get copyrighted, but
Yeah, we will. You can't listen to it right now.
not even like 30 seconds. I think it's if you go over
No,
30 seconds. Fine, I'll listen to
no.
it later. Mm.
It's right. The whole album is like half an hour. It's like 35 minutes. I was distraught when it was finished. It's so good.
I love.
I just phoned Chapel Roan. No, I just followed her on Instagram.
Hmm.
She's amazing. She's so hot. I really have a thing for redheads.
She's a babe.
Like, she's so hot.
I love her.
And I am once again no better than a man, so I'll stop with my comments there. But she's also completely amazing.
Hmm.
And I saw, that they were like apparently organized a coffee or a date, whatever kind of vibe, because they both had this like astronomical rise to fame this year, and they're both kind of going through the same thing, and
Sabrina
therefore
and
there's
Chapel.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they can relate to each other in a way that like obviously nobody else really can, and they're gonna hang out and support each other. I hope because
Mhm.
that's a nice good news story that I want, and I
Yeah.
love that for both
And they're
of them. And
both, I think, pocket sized.
oh, is Chapel pop? Is
Papa.
she pocket sized as
I
well?
think so. Maybe not like as short
Hmm.
as Sabrina, but I get the short vibes from Chapel.
Amazing. And
Mm.
people are like industry plan, overnight success, blah 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 blah. But that's not the case. Sabrina's been
No.
making music for like a decade. I was sort of aware of her, but not really. I saw various TikTok videos of her before, like she kind of exploded this time around. Um,
Wait,
and like, yeah,
Chapel?
she's no Sabrina.
Sabrina. Okay.
She's been pure going for ages and ages, and I listened to some of her older stuff, and it's very good. Um, and yeah, Chapel was almost like obviously she made this album last year, released it last year, and it
Hmm.
was like she was like on the verge of giving up, and moving back to midway. I don't really understand geography, but wherever she hails from, in whatever part of the, I don't know whether she actually is from the Midwest, and
I believe she is.
yeah, that's why the album is called what the album is called.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, I just love how I think this has been the best year in pop music
Oh,
forever.
hands down.
100%, right?
Hands
I
down.
Charlie XCX, you also haven't listened to her yet, have you? You said you were going to and you haven't.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, my life is music. What are you doing during the week? It's been a whole week. What have you been doing?
I'm feeling very attacked right now.
What have you been doing with your last week if it's not been listening to these albums?
What
Have you
have I
listened
been
to
doing?
Brat yet?
No.
No. So
I really
you
should
didn't
have
even
done my homework.
you didn't even experienced your Brat summer. So how can you have your feral fall?
You just tell me all about it. You just.
I love it all. Literally love it all. I'm never listening to a male artist ever again. I mean, why would I need to when I have all this? And I know what you're going to say. But Sam, men aren't trash. No, they're not. But I mean, the girly pop. The girly pop is for me.
I've been loving
And
it.
I love it. And I want to be able to dance. And
I
also,
just want to dance.
I just want to dance. Yeah, I
Missouri.
mean,
Found it.
Missouri, that's in the song as well. Pink Pony Club. I just
There
couldn't
you go.
remember it. Um,
I know that one.
yeah, you got one. Well done. Who's been your favorite this summer then?
Well, I've been liking the two little girly pops, Miss Sabrina and Miss Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when Chapel was coming out, and I was like, "Who is this queen?" because
Who is this girl?
she was in like drag essentially, and I love drag
Yeah.
queens. Like I'm a drag queen connoisseur. Love me some RuPaul's Drag Race,
Yeah.
and apparently she's pulled a lot of inspiration from drag queens. Like that's where she gets a lot of her
That's
um
amazing.
artistic direction from, and why she has her makeup and costuming the way she has it when she performs, and I love that.
I just thought she was one of us, like, theater musical kids that had been let loose.
Yeah, love Chapel, love Sabrina. I remember first seeing her on Girl Meets World, which was like a spin-off of the show Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
And then when I first
Wait,
started
wait, wait.
hearing
A spin-off of the what?
the other show called Boy Meets World.
Ah, I thought you said it was a spin-off of Friends, and I was like, no, it's fucking not. Don't you be talking about Corey and Topanga that way.
Yeah. In what world did you hear me say flat?
That's what in the world. That's what I heard.
Okay. Might not be part of your
What a wild trend, right?
It's wild. Oh my gosh.
One of my faves in a while, I must admit.
The guy I'm seeing sent me a like nostalgic 2000s throwback video of like your grandparents kept the decorations in this bathroom the same, and it's like the shower curtain has the dolphins and the under the sea whatever and all these different things, and I only saw the thumbnail of it first and I thought it was going to be that trend again that he was sending me, but no. It's just I'm so in that
I saw, yeah, no, I've seen quite a few of these. It has the music, and it's not obviously the original image, but it is various places decorated as though it is. So I've seen an Airbnb with the floor is basically an underworld theme with the dolphins and the blah blah. Like, so it looks like that, and it's just that sound over it. And I've also and I've also seen other walls, etc., bathrooms decorated exactly like that trend.
Mhm.
So I think this is a common decorating theme
Yeah.
for people is obviously symphony dolphins,
Love
which
it.
is not wrong. I mean, it's not my favorite, but if it's good for you, it's good for me. It's another trend that I quite like. I don't think I got that verbatim, but you're looking at me ponder. You know, when they're like, "What's your favorite position?"
Oh yes.
That's cool with me. Is that the from the Tenacious D song?
It's not my favorite, but I'll do
Oh,
it for you.
that's the one.
I love me some Jack Black and Tenacious D.
You do like Jack Black, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You're so
Tribute is my favorite Tenacious D song.
Ovs. Ovs. Whose isn't?
Miss Bella's birthday today.
No, it was yesterday.
Oh. Happy belated.
Yeah, so she was 10 yesterday.
Yeah, I thought that
And
you said that because we were voice noting each other, but then I saw your little birthday
yeah,
post
I never got around
today.
to doing it yesterday, and
Ah.
then I got around to doing it this morning because she was in such a cute position. I took a little picture of her on the couch. I was like, because I tucked her in.
Oh.
Because I was like, it's chilly this morning, baby girl. Let's went to sleep. And I was actually going to attack her with the nail clippers, and
Mhm.
I find if I get her when she's unawares. But then I ended up making the Instagram post instead to be like, oh my god, it's her birthday.
She's so cute. Did you ever put her in like a little harness, like Airedale, and then clip her?
I've tried Airger. I've tried them all.
Yeah.
Airger? What did I just say?
Airedale.
I've tried them all. The next one I think I'm going to try is a tin of like tuna. And I'm just going to put that shit down in front of her and hope that she's so distracted with the tuna that she doesn't notice that I'm trying to clip her nails. That's the next move. She's so distracted that she just doesn't notice. As she raises her head after licking herself clean. But yeah. Interestingly, actually, and we touched on it earlier, obviously, and I hate to take us back to the dark place, but I got her right after I went to trial for my rape. That was the reason for her existence.
Aww.
Yeah, so she's been with me since the dark days. Arguably the worst few years of my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to trial in the November, and I got her a few weeks later in the December.
What a queen.
Yeah. So, I think I've unfortunately done a little bit of damage to her as a result of the fact that she was with me for quite a few of my drinking years. And she
Mm.
has this desire to look after me.
Mhm.
She feels like she has to look after me, and therefore she can be quite reactive to people out in the open.
Mhm.
And I'm like, girly pop, it's fine. But she's like, nope, they're too close to us, and you need protecting. And I'm like, okay. And, she's 10 now, so the chances of me getting her out of that behavior, slim. But again, I am manifesting it. My reality, we're going to fix this.
Well, we also have our friend Tuesday that we've mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
She has a paparino, Miss La Luna,
Luluna's,
who
how old is Luluna?
I think she's not that much younger than Bella.
Yeah, I
I don't
didn't
know
think
for
so
sure.
either. Yeah, but she's graduated, right?
Yeah, well, because she had a really bad experience with other dogs when she was younger, and so anytime Tuesday would take her out for a walk, she'd freak out and couldn't be around. Like even just seeing another dog in the distance, like game over. So that's what Tuesday's been taking her to little doggy school for, and she's
Yeah.
doing amazing. She's doing great. She just graduated. Yeah, she's doing
Yeah.
so good.
It might be something that we go down that route of. Is, to be fair, I could do with the training, I think, more than Bella. I'd like to be able to know how to give her what she needs in order to feel safe and comfortable and all the rest of it. I don't want her feeling anxious and she has to
Yeah.
be on guard because I happen to be a complete and utter mess of a human being when I got her. Which is unfortunate that I think a lot of people do get pets when they are a mess. But then we end up putting that mess onto our pets, which is a bit
Mhm.
of a shame. Because we aren't actually capable of looking after them in the way that they need. And then they end up looking after us and just having extra stress and anxiety in their life.
Well, maybe it can be a collaborative effort. You know, you can
Yes.
go in, get her trained, you'll get the same training at the same time. Because I'm sure that what Tuesday is doing, she's getting a bit of like learning and training herself as to how to be
Yeah, absolutely.
with her. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it is a uh not that I've ever had a pet, but I can imagine it's a collaborative
I
effort.
can't get over this. How have you never had a pet?
Ask Pete and Trace.
You're baby girl, you're 31 years old. Get a fucking pet.
I know, but I still live in their house.
Yeah, I know. Just get one anyway.
You're like, just keep it in your room. I couldn't do that to the pet.
But what if you had something little, like a rabbit?
I think actually though there was a point where my mom was like, if you get a little dog, get a little dog. And I was like, yeah. Um and that
They're
was
great for
during
forcing. You sometimes, if you want help to go out for your hot girl walks.
I know that would really get me out every single day.
Bella, she needs to go out.
I have wanted there was a point where I wanted to get like a little dachshund, a little wiener dog.
Everybody does like a sausage dog.
They're so cute. Although I have heard that they can be a little like annoying and vicious and
Oh, I've
needy
heard that
and
they
nasty.
are so fucking bad at like getting the fuck away from you. I
Yeah.
think Bella's bad. Like she's attached to me all the time, but I think that they're worse.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel bad because I get home and I might be tired and feeling a bit like overstimulated,
Yeah.
and she just wants to be on top of me,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, baby girl, I can't have you on top. I can't have you touching me right now. I just
I
need.
think that's part of the hesitancy of getting a pet, you know, because
Yeah.
just like with other thing we talked about before, like having a kid, I think I might be too selfish.
I can't wait
Because
to have babies. I told
I'm
you about my
very
baby experience this week.
yeah.
Not even a
I do
baby, a
love a
10-month
baby.
old. But you what?
I do love a baby. I don't
You
want to have any of
Yeah,
my
you don't
own,
want a baby, but you love a
but
baby.
I love babies.
Yeah. And have you
Love them.
always known you don't want to have kids?
No.
No?
No, for the longest time, like growing up, I was like, yep, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have a family, I'm gonna have kids of my own. Um, yeah, I was like, that was the plan. But then I think it was mid late 20s. Um, that started to shift. I think a lot as I was getting very unwell, particularly in my dark drinking days. But even it's still kind of bled over into now that it's just not really something that I actually truly want for myself. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of the reason I wanted to have kids in a family was because of, well, A, just, adoring and loving my mom and like wanting to be like her in every possible way. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a mom. I'm going to be the best mom. Um, but then also just the whole expectation of women having
Yeah.
kids, like that's what you're for. Um, but then as my frontal lobe developed and I realized that I like kids, but only for like a period of time before I start to lose my absolute mind.
Yeah.
Um,
Whereas I love kids. I could live in a house of kids and be
I
like
know you love
quite.
them, and that's
I
great.
literally
I
love
love
them.
that for you.
But I also had to go on this journey of discovering whether I wanted kids for me, I wanted kids for because of it was societal expectations, or I don't know, somewhere in between. I've
Hmm.
gone through all the phases over the years. So, like, originally, it was all when I was younger, I was like, basically, that was it. I was going to go and have a big family and be a stay-at-home mom. And honestly, actually, what was the point in getting a career? Because I was gonna have to sacrifice it anyway. So I was born to be a wife. And when I was so young and naive as well, that I didn't see the problem with that originally.
Mm,
And I mean, this was into my teens and early 20s. So this wasn't like this wasn't my little girl brain. I mean, technically it was, but it was still quite a large part of me. And yeah, I couldn't comprehend why I would bother with anything else when I was going to become a mother and a wife, and therefore that was what I was here for, and all the rest of it.
hmm
And then when we were talking earlier about my period of celibacy and healing, during that period, I thought, I am definitely not having children. Like, it's super selfish to have children. Is coming from an environmental point of view, um, it is really, really, really hard on the body. They don't tell you half of the stuff that could go wrong.
hmm
It wouldn't be fair of me to have children if I'm not fully healed. I don't want to bring any of my trauma to them. Also, am I doing it to create mini me's rather than to contribute something to society? Like, from all sides, I was like, I'm definitely not having children. I might adopt later on in my life. I think that would be a great thing to do, but certainly I'm not adding any more to this population. Then it's only now, really, and I think we've spoken about this before on I think the first episode. I went down to our lovely friend Anna's house, and spending a week with her family kind of healed this inner child wound in me,
hmm
where I realized not all families were completely batshit crazy insane. And I went, holy shit, I think I kind of want this. And that was literally like, that wasn't even a year ago. And now I'm like, definitely, definitely see you know, maybe not quite white picket fence because I'm a little bit quirkier than that, but certainly, some kind of traditional family in my
hmm
future. But yeah, I had to work through all of that as well and answer the questions. And my concern with people having kids so young is that they don't get to have these conversations with themselves. They don't get to figure it out. It's too late. And they end up growing up with a mother who doesn't really want them and resents them.
hmm
And that's awful.
Yeah.
I realized you didn't get to tell me about Sabrina because we laughed so much.
Oh, yeah. So it was just I'd seen her on that particular show, and I saw her coming up on TikTok quite a bit. And I had only seen her doing like covers. I'd seen her do like covers of ABBA, specifically Dancing Queen, and she's just this short little girly pop thing. And I was like, "You're the girl from that show. What you doing out here and doing concerts and stuff? And
Yeah.
you're doing covers." And so I was kind of judgy at first because I was like, "What's a big deal? She's just doing
Another one
covers."
of them, another one of those child stars who's going to try and turn into a singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But then, but then I just kept seeing her on TikTok and eventually heard, what did I hear first? I think it was Feather or
Hmm.
Espresso.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, look at this lyrical genius and this like fun little girly pop like tune. Yeah, I really, really liked it and I really like her. And I love the fact that this summer has just been so girly pop filled
Yeah.
and that whole era is coming back around.
Yeah.
It's funny because I used to listen to not purely, but like significantly large amounts of male artists only, like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Jonas Brother. I was a boy band girl.
Yeah.
One Direction, 5 Seconds of Summer. I had like obviously love the Spice Girls, Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne. Saw her in concert really
Absolutely.
recently. It was so good.
Whereas I saw her in 2004.
Yeah, and it was the same opener. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that. Simple Plan. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, rocking it.
Yeah.
I just love that. It's another cute connection between us that,
I
like,
know.
we've both seen Avril Lavigne supported by Simple Plan several decades apart, but
Yeah,
yeah, amazing. I love
a
it.
little
I just love
tie.
it.
A little
Yeah,
soul tie.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so the longest time it'd been mostly men that I'd listened to. But now it's like that switch is happening and I'm listening to more and more like girly pop, girl stuff,
yeah,
getting into the feminine whatever because I think again it was sort of like you're demonized or looked down upon if you like girly things, like if you like
yeah,
pink. I just wanted so badly to be accepted by anybody and everybody, but specifically men.
yeah,
Um, which kind of like wraps back into the whole decentering men thing, which I still find I like struggle with because it's so ingrained into my psyche and being. I think it's a really important and helpful thing to embrace and try to do. I have a
yeah.
long way to go, but I can really see the benefits of it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely looking at our internalized misogyny
Mhm.
has been, yeah, harsh, but definitely worthwhile. And I think everybody has it, unfortunately.
That was this whole thing of surrounding homophobia specifically for gay men. And it's not that men hate gay men. Men hate femininity
Yeah, yeah. And
or straight
and
men.
gay men as men also hate femininity.
Yes.
And unfortunately, some of them are actually still quite not nice to women. And it's the same in the queer community as a whole. Lesbians can often be that way as well, where they've gone, well into their kind of mask side and
Mm,
accidentally become part of the problem,
mhm.
because they end up thinking that femininity um, is also a weakness and is also something that should be avoided or made fun of or blah blah blah.
Mhm.
And yet that exists across the spectrum of genders and of sexualities, and
Yeah.
everybody needs to look at it. And I often just find it so funny, like, why, like, if you don't know of all the girly pops that are going around right now singing music, that's fair enough because they're not really for you. But if you automatically hate them and are
Mhm.
like, oh, it's just another cute white girl with overproduced songs and auto-tune and blah blah blah, whatever, is that because is it a bit of misogyny right there? Do you automatically hate feminine things and feminine traits because you were also, as a man, brought up that way, to
Mhm.
say that pink is gay and crying is for girls
Mhm.
and man up and just pull your bootstraps up and get on with it?
Yeah.
And so many people are unwilling to admit that we live in a patriarchal society that demonizes femininity, but that patriarchal society also negatively impacts men
Mm,
dramatically.
mhm.
And the reason that men have so many problems is entirely also because of the patriarchy and because
Yeah.
the way that they are being raised and socialized.
Mhm.
And I don't understand why so many people are so defensive against this.
Yeah. It's a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
And feminism isn't just for women, for everybody. But yeah, it's really quite sad how impacted they are without even realizing it. A good chunk of them, um, men folk. Yeah, I saw this TikTok again, and it was a girl woman who was texting with a guy, and he starts it off with, "Oh, you women wouldn't last like a day without us men. Who would protect you in the middle of the night if someone were to attack you?" And she goes, "Attacked by who?"
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Attacked by man.
Yeah.
So if men aren't there, who's? Not to say that there
Yeah.
aren't, dangerous women out there, because sure, dangerous anybody. But primarily, that guy was speaking about that,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's that sound that is, who set that system up?
Yeah.
Who set that system up? And it's men set that system up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that, all of the problems that are now existing is because of this patriarchal society that we
Mm-hmm.
live in,
Mm-hmm.
where men don't get shit. Because they don't. And they are sort of forgotten about and pushed aside. And I think there's been a massive push to empower women to varying successes over the course of the last few decades to get us into work and career and university and all the rest of that. And the unintended consequence of that girl power movement that we've experienced for our entire life is we've literally forgotten about the boys. And the boys have now grown up. They've been left to their own devices for the last 3, 4 decades. Nobody's pushed them. And we're now having to date these men.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not prepared to have any decent conversations with any emotional intelligence. They're not capable of looking after themselves or us. They have absolutely no understanding of how to go about growing and fixing themselves, or that they even need to be fixed, and are happy to blame everybody else. And we are now dealing with the unintended consequences of that in the men that we are incapable of dating because we don't want to date them. We don't want to marry them, and we don't want to have children with these men. And that's why we've got so many women of our age who are single with no children. Because unfortunately, the men that we raised of our generation, that raised the most badass women, but seems to have raised the worst men, and we're just not compatible.
Yep. And 9 times out of 10, that's the case for sure. There's the rare one, but they're few and far between, girl.
Yeah, they really are. And this is why I'm off the dating apps again. Again.
Again.
Again. I mean it. This is the last time. This is the last time I will download those bloody apps. Mark my words that I said this on this date at this time. Never again.
On September 20th, 2024, 1:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:35 p.m. UK time.
Yeah, I said I will never download the apps again. And that's that.
And that's on that. And that's on period.
And that's on period. We have covered a lot.
We have covered a lot. My little chickens. Thank you all for listening again. It's been a joy. Look forward to hearing you, seeing you, having you.
Stalk us, please.
Yeah.
Oh my god, have fun.
I've been loving seeing more activity on TikTok, so please follow us there. Follow us on Instagram,
Yes.
tripleu podcast. And we're on YouTube, Spotify. What other thing?
Amazon, Apple, Audible,
All
and
the olds?
all of your olds, all of your favorite podcast places, we will be on if we're not
Perfect.
already, because I'm working my way through the list. It's been amazing once again. Thank you all so much for your support, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
I am thirsty today. I don't think I've been drinking enough the last couple of days, so I'm like, girl.